We got another update to our Reddit story. My wife and mother of three is cheating on me and she thinks I don't know, okay? Where we left off, he is debating possibly bringing the wife back home. Not as wife, but just as mother. Let's see where we left off, all right? He writes, long update. Perfect. I hope it's filled with all the juicy details. Leave nothing out. Oh, and she also did that polygraph test, so maybe we'll hear about that today. Kids are, without any doubt, the biggest reason, 98%. They went to see a psychologist again on Monday, again one-on-one. The lady told me my younger son is dealing with all of this tougher and tougher. He told her that he's having a tough time concentrating in school and that my older son is putting a lot of pressure on him whenever they are alone. He told her that he thinks I am angry at him because of everything he said last week to her about how he misses my wife. Then she told me my older son is very stubborn and refuses to talk about things that she wants to know. He told her he thinks he didn't do anything wrong by protecting me. He also said again that my wife is a bad person and doesn't want her near me or him. I just don't know what to do about this. If I attack him, then he will become angry at me and he will feel alone. I speak nicely with him and explain to him that this is just between me and her, like I did a lot of times, but he still has his opinions like this. At the end, she told me that next time she would like to see my wife and me with my younger son in a session. When we came home, I talked again with both of them. I could feel tension between them. They are 7 and almost 9. They should worry about toys, sports, school, not about who they should support between me and my wife. I called my wife and told her she needs to come with me and my younger son. She agreed immediately. On Sunday, she was at their football practice again. They saw her and didn't say anything, so she just stayed till the end. We went again on Wednesday to see a psychologist. She was waiting for us. Psychologist told me she wants to speak first with my wife and my younger son, so my older son and I were in the waiting room. After about 30 minutes, the psychologist invited me in. I saw my wife and son crying and she was hugging him. I didn't say anything. I was just standing and looking at them. Then my wife told me in my own language, "I am so sorry, please forgive me." I responded with very short but very harsh sentences in my own language again. She understands my language, but my younger son doesn't at all. I honestly wanted to throw her from the building when I saw that. I can't believe she did this to my life. We talked a little bit where my son said he wants her to come back and that he wants everything to be the same like it used to be. He misses her a lot. He loves me a lot, but he also misses her. Okay. Psychologist told him to leave the room and be with my older son while she speaks with us alone. She told us we need to make some plans. Either she comes back and we try to be the best parents we can, or he needs to start spending time with her. But he refuses to go where she lives right now. My wife was just watching me with tears on her face, probably waiting for me to do some guy from those Spanish television shows who will hug and kiss her, forgive her for everything, and spend the rest of my life with her. Anyways, we left then, and the first time in my entire life I saw my sons fighting. Really? That's the first time? Because my sisters and I fought all the time growing up. Like, every day. Not physically exactly, but there was some pushing. I stopped them and my older son started to yell how my younger son is a crybaby and that he doesn't love me. Younger son was crying again and my wife hugged him and told my older son something like, "Hey D, please stop. I am so sorry for everything." He didn't stop. He started to yell at her that he would not listen to her. So I took him by the hand and we went to speak in the hallway. For the first time since all of this, I was very angry at him and I wasn't the most calm person at the moment. He said he wants to go home. I told him he needs to go on with his session and then go to football practice. He eventually went to speak with the psychologist. My younger son and wife were waiting for him. Son was sitting between us. Wife and son were speaking with each other. I was just looking at one point on the floor. Oh my God, 60 minutes? That must have been the most boring, awful 60 minutes ever. 60 minutes of her watching me and saying how sorry she is and that everything will be okay in my own language so my younger son cannot understand. Psychologist said to me that my older son refuses to talk and even told her he doesn't like her. Stop Stubborn kid. I apologized and my son just told me to drive him home. He refused to go to football practice. I apologized to him for my earlier behavior, but he said he doesn't care and refused to speak with me. I tried to persuade him to go to practice, but no chance. He is so stubborn. My wife drove my younger son to practice and was with him and then drove him back. I went home with my older son and I told Melody that she could go home. My son immediately went into his room and told me to leave him alone. I know I should be much nicer to him, but I am really tired of all of this. My wife brought our younger son back, spent some time with our daughter, and I asked her to leave me alone and she left. I was thinking all day yesterday what to do. Craziest thing is that the other person I talked to that told me to not bring her back was her father. He told me she deserves everything bad and all the consequences. My family, her mother and brother, majority of friends told me that they will support whatever decision I make. Rest of the friends told me to bring her back home because she knows she messed up and is very remorseful and the kids want it. My daughter will be 4 very soon. She doesn't understand anything, but she loves my wife and is crazy about her. Younger son is the same and I have an older son who is doing all these shenanigans. Wife didn't call me, but again, she sends texts about how sorry she is and she's the only one responsible for the behavior of all of our kids. No Sherlock. At the end of the day, at the end of the day, I decided to bring her back. Shut up. I did not expect that. I called my friend and his wife to be with my kids while I went to talk to her. I didn't call my wife because I didn't want her to be prepared for anything that I would say. I came at 8:30 p.m. to her friend's place. Friend was shocked to see me and told me that my wife is in her room. I opened the door and a lot of tissues were there. She looked again like whatever. All 3 of us sat in the living room. I told her she can come back. She was shocked at first. Then when she realized I was serious, she started to smile and went to hug me, but I pushed her away, so she hugged her friend. Not gonna lie, I haven't seen her happier in my life. I told her everything that's in my soul and in my mind. I told her I don't care about her changes that she promised. I don't care if she goes to IC, if she is staying in the house all day, even if she works, she can open social media profiles again, I don't care. By the way, she answered 5 polygraph questions on the polygraph interview. Apparently, she is more attracted to me than to AP, and sex with me is much better. She never cheated on me before AP. She does love me. She wasn't bored or unhappy during the marriage and never had any emotional feelings for AP, and she would cut contact with him because she wanted that. So you would say I should be happy because all of this. I'm actually more disgusted by her because obviously she had everything and she still did what she did. Let's hydrate, okay? We're hopping on hydration station. What's in your cup? It's water in mine. Cheers. I can't believe he brought her back. I told her I want 5 things from her. Number 1, do not cry in front of the kids. Number 2, to not bother our older son. When he is ready, he will talk. 3, do not bother me. 4, respect Melody. I decided I will keep her. She is great around the kids. Kids love her. My wife should start working soon, so Melody can be more with the kids and also she can drive them to school and from school, and that will help me a lot because I am at the end with my energy. And she cooks great. 5, do not bring any guy near our house. Obviously, she accepted with a huge smile, all first 4 rules. Then the 5th, she said she doesn't want anyone and she will never ever look at a guy except me. I expected her to answer something like this, so I said something like, never mind, I didn't bring my girlfriend when you were not there and this rule is valid for me also. Wait, what? Does he have a girlfriend? We're speaking hypothetically. Smile on her face disappeared, but 101% she knows I said that just to hurt her because she knows me better than anyone. Oh, okay. I thought you had a girlfriend. Too bad I didn't know her that well. I told her divorce papers are 99% ready, and if she doesn't follow one of these rules, she will be served immediately and kicked out again from the house. She agreed on everything. Told her to come back tomorrow, which is today, in the morning when I am at work and my sons are at school. When I came back home, her friend texted me. She's a great person and she helped me a lot during this process. She helped my wife and was the only person to be there 24/7, but was also very strict with her and supported me. Anyway, she says she's glad I gave my wife a chance to come back and that my wife is very happy and so thrilled and will behave better than ever. Okay, so she's just coming back as mom though? For how long? Because this is only gonna last so long if y'all aren't gonna try to be together though. I talked with Melody later. I told her I want her to be honest with me and tell me if my wife ever becomes rude to her. I want her to tell me that and I want her to update me with everything that is happening. She said she will. Today I was at work and my wife came back with her friend. Melanie told me my wife apologized to her for that scene 2 weeks ago. Okay. And she wanted to thank her for everything she did around our kids and that our daughter loves her. Melody helped her with her belongings and the two of them had a coffee and talked where my wife cried in front of her because of how much she hurt me. And my wife was with our daughter playing all the time until me and the boys came home. And then the toughest part was to pick up my sons from school. I left my job earlier just because of this. My younger son finished school earlier, so I explained to him and he was really happy. He was always the happiest and loudest kid ever, full of life, and during all of this he became very quiet. Now he has that innocent, genuine smile on his face again. I told my older son the same thing and he didn't say anything. He was just looking through the window out of the car. When we came home, my younger son went to hug my wife and they were kissing each other, but my older one just walked in his room like no one was around him. I followed him and talked to him for at least 20 minutes. He was without any emotion, so cold. He requested to leave him alone because he will take a nap. Melody was doing some chores, my wife was cooking, and my younger son and daughter were around her. I had flashbacks then. This is how it was before all of this. Okay, Melody wasn't around, but my wife would cook dinner every day and kids were just playing, jumping, etc. Then I remembered what she did and I felt disgusted again. I went to sleep also. Then dinner happened. Melody left and there we are. 5 of us. Good old times, huh? Without any doubt, the most awkward 30 minutes in my entire life. My wife is feeding my daughter. By the way, my daughter was the only one talking during those 30 minutes. Younger son is eating and watching TV. Wife is watching me every second like she's some kind of spy. And my older son didn't say a word and was looking at me the entire time with the look, "Dad, I love you, but you are a wussy," we'll say. Maybe I am. Probably I am. I think I made a good decision, but also one part of me thinks I made a horrible decision. I guess time will tell. My older son went after dinner into his room and I followed him again. We played video games a little bit and then before I left, I told him I will always be there for him and he can tell me anything that bothers him. He looked better after that. I was a little bit in the living room. Kids were already in their beds and for the first time, my wife approached me. She told me she's blessed with another chance and will respect everything that I told her and that she will do all of the things she promised in her changes because that is really what she wants and it is the least she could do for me after everything. I didn't say a word. I was just looking at her. She went to sleep in the guest room and now I am writing this. I don't know. I hope I did a good thing. Younger son and daughter are very happy and their smiles are the most important to me. Older son will hopefully be better. And about me, well, I really don't care. To be honest, it helps me a lot that she is here. I have more free time. I had a very tough time doing all of those things. My work, driving them to and from school, driving them to practices, psychologists, friends, be with them at home, helping them with homework, be dad and mom in the same time. And honestly, even if this situation ruins the possibility for me to find another woman in the near future, I am okay with that. I don't care. I don't care how much we will be in this situation, but as long as my kids are great, I am fine. Even if that means I will never be truly happy again and never have any other partner? Come on, my dude. That's gotta be a miserable life. My kids are the most important to me and I would give my life for them, let alone my sexual/emotional life. I could never imagine allowing her to come back, but honestly, when you live these moments daily with your kids, it is very tough. If we are from the same country and living there, I would divorce her already. In this situation, I truly believe this is the correct decision for now, at least for my kids. Thank you all. Now, that was the last update. The last comment that he responded to was on Monday, October 21st, okay? I'm gonna read the last comment he ever said because this is where we've left off. I'm not sure if he's gonna update again, you know? We don't know. So one Redditor wrote, just out of curiosity, was your wife ever excited about her affair or bragging about it to her friend? From what you wrote so far, it seems that she was never excited about it. Like it was something she wanted to try and found out that it sucked, so she ended it. What were her texts to her friend like during the time that she was having sex with AP for the first or second time? Was there ever a time where she was excited about her affair and wanted that to happen? I mean, the last time, sex sounded really like she did not want it to happen. I guess I never knew about this. Yeah, was she into it? She had to have been somewhat into it. She kept going back. The husband wrote back to him saying, few days after I kicked her out of the house, she sent me every single message with her friend from Instagram and WhatsApp. Every message from the day she saw AP and nothing is deleted because the conversation doesn't have any holes. Also, she sent me every voice message between them two. My wife confessed to her in person that they are talking and that she likes the attention. Her friend was pretty excited about that. Wife said many times that he looks good. They even compared our looks. According to my wife, I am better looking, but AP is very hot. She never told her before the first time that they will meet. When they effed, she told her she was feeling horrible in the messages. Her friend told her that she needs to stay calm and think about what to do. After the first time, AP started with messages saying how he had a good time and asked her when she was free. Conversation between them was, I don't know, weird to say the least. One day she would have very short answers. One day he would. Sometimes she would initiate. Sometimes he would. Eventually they had sex the second time after 10 days. Nudes were exchanged only between the first and second time they had sex. Okay, so they had sex, sent some noodles to each other, ooh, 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 and then had it again 10 days later. After they had sex the second time, her friend asked why she was doing all of this, and she sent her voice message where she cried and said that she needs help. She started to write that she is only attracted to me and that sex with me is much better. That's when her friend started to write that she needs to enjoy and find what she really wants. Okay, so the friend was more into it than she was. I effing hate that cow, and while I am writing this, I have a big desire to tell her husband about all of this, but they have a kid and I don't want to maybe ruin their family and life for that kid because of me being angry at my wife. They had sex a third time, after just 2 days. Friend asked her again why she did that, and my wife gave a weird answer. I mean, obviously I don't know what she and AP were talking about when they were alone, but she said to her that she feels this is the best way to keep AP happy, and sent a few voice messages where she cries about how she hates herself. So she was conflicted, but still, I don't understand it. Her friend also didn't understand the answer, and then my wife basically started to freak out about how she's scared I might find out about everything. Her friend told her to leave me for AP because she is happier with AP. My wife exploded on her, saying that's not true and that she only loves me, and how she can't see that she's in something she doesn't like and doesn't have the option to get out. They didn't talk for a few days after that, and her friend apologized. Then she tried to end things. I mean, come on. Then she tried to end things, had sex for the 4th time. Like, this story's getting old. Started to cry and ran away after that, met him one more time in person to end things for real, and went NC. Her friend was definitely encouraging her to keep the affair alive, but that is not an excuse to my wife at all. That is why all of this is so confusing to me. If she effed him because she couldn't keep eyes from him, fine. If she effed him because we are poor and he is rich and she likes expensive gifts, fine. If she effed him because sex is great and we have a dead bedroom, fine. But none of that is true. She doesn't even know why she did it. Incredible lunatic. And yet we have brought her back into our home. That is the final update so far. I will of course be closing out this story, but keeping my eye on the Reddit thread, okay? That's it for this one. Stay classy out there, stay sassy, and I'll see you tomorrow.